Good evening. My name is Jorge Renaud, and I am for this bill, sir. I am testifying for myself. I am currently a graduate student at the University of Texas School of Social Work. I am on parole. I was paroled in 2008 after doing 17 years for robbery conviction here in Travis County. Before that, I was a copy editor and reporter at the Austin American Statesman, and before that, I did another stretch of time. And the thing that I'd like to address in this is I don't know much about ADSEG because I've never been ADSEG, but I'm very familiar with the gang structure. Okay. And I didn't get to hear much of Mr. Thaler's testimony, but what I want you all to understand is that the gangs that you're familiar with, the ones that you've seen, the Crips and the Bloods, the ones that they just did a roundup here in Austin a while back, the Tango Blast, are by far the most numerous gangs in TDCJ. They're not considered security threat groups, and they are not ADSEG. The ones who are in ad segregation, that are maybe 10,000, are the primarily Hispanic groups who were at war with each other in the 80s and the 90s. The most powerful force by far, if there is anything violent that goes on right now in TDCJ that is ascribed to gang activity, is actually the members of the Tango Blast and the Crips and the Bloods. But they're not security threat groups. I'm not saying this because I want them in segregation. I'm saying this because if TDCJ does not think that they are dangerous enough to be ADSEG, then I think that you really need to examine who is in ad segregation and really ask them that whether or not they believe that that the current dangerousness level of the men who are in fact in ad segregation, and they have men back who've been there 20 years, who never had a case, who just because they belong to the Mexican Mafia, to the Texas Syndicate, to the Aryan Brotherhood, to the Aryan Circle, groups that were in fact at the time very violent, that were at the time very dangerous, are pretty well dissipated. The ones that are in fact dangerous now aren't considered dangerous enough to be ADSEG. Therefore, I think that the entire edifice that is used to justify locking up gang members is actually not, I don't think it's strong at all. And I just want y'all to really examine that. And that when you consider this bill, by far the majority of the people in ADSEG in Texas are there merely because they're confirmed gang members.
Ms. Marquez had a question for you.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to come down here. I think it's always important that we hear from people that are actually in to understand what the process is. But I will say, you hit on my point exactly. I could not have said it better myself, which is, what's wrong with a little come to Jesus? Let's reevaluate what we're doing. There's some people that I'd like to put in a box for 23 hours, but is that effective? Am I doing what I need to be doing, or am I helping, solve a problem? No, I'm not, and I think that's what you're saying. If this is not happening the way it should, or if you're not seeing a product of rehabilitated people, then we need to reevaluate what we're doing and make it better. And I think, I don't see why TDCJ wouldn't be a part of that. They want to be progressive. They want to bring out people. They want people like yourselves to be in school afterwards and to be contributing to society. And that's all we're saying. We're saying, look, let's take a look at it. Let's all come to the table. Let's reevaluate what our priorities are, and just, know that maybe this is not the most effective way to help these people be productive members. And so you made my point exactly, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Mr. Perry.
Mr. Chairman, I'm just going to say congratulations and
thank you
for the success you show, but different topic, different time altogether. I would welcome discussion from you on things you found as you go back into civilian life, so to speak, as work, it's college, and the barriers. I think Ms. Allen and I have talked about how you get people back to work when everything in the system says if you've got a felony, you don't work. So I would love to have that conversation with you on a different level at a different time to see where we could make some improvements there. But
all right,
thank you.
Appreciate your testimony again. Congratulations. Thank you very much, sir.